When Jane Jayroe was a little girl growing up in Sentinel, Oklahoma, she dreamed of being a princess, but she had no idea that she would grow up and one day be the fairest of them all and crowned our own Miss America. Jane Ann Jayroe was born October 30th, 1946, to Pete and Helen Jayroe. Pete was a basketball coach and her mother was a school teacher. Jane describes herself as a child.
Very shy, very shy. My mother and my sister did all the talking for me. I played by myself a lot because there weren't other children in the neighborhood. And that's probably one reason I was so bonded to my mother. But extremely shy and kind of an introvert, but just followed the family along to basketball games, to school activities, to church activities, to whatever we needed to do, but I was a big mama's girl.
Her best friend was her big sister Judy. One night when walking home from the movie theater in downtown Sentinel, Jane describes being afraid.
I would always want to hold Judy's hand and we'd start singing. It was kind of the story of our lives, and that was again my mother injecting that positive feeling about things. Whether we were doing the dishes or walking up the hill and getting afraid, we'd start singing. So here were these two little girls walking up a hill on a dark Saturday night, and we'd start singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," and at the top of our voice. And of course that made it all safe then, just being with her hand in hand, walking "You'll Never Walk Alone," and we never have.
They moved to Laverne, and because her dad was the basketball coach, Jane was on the girls' basketball team and was a cheerleader in high school. Boys had to tread lightly with the coach's daughter, but there was one boy who became a good friend for life.
I think I was in the 8th grade in Laverne High School when the Baptist minister came to town. The new Baptist minister came to town with this whole family, and his oldest son was named Jimmy, and Jimmy was not cool. But Jimmy had something in common with me that was very important. I think we were the only two people in Harper County that were passionate about music, and he could play anything. And he made up songs, and we just had a terrific friendship. At the age of 19, of course, Miss America happened to me. At the age of 19 for Jimmy, he was on top of the world as one of the genius composers of that year. And I think we were both extremely surprised.
Jane never thought she would actually win Miss America.
Oh, there she is, Miss America. There she is, your eyes.
Jane floated through that next year, traveling all over the world. Then it was back to OCU to graduate and become a bride in 1969. Kismet for a Miss America, her son Tyler was born July 4th, 1976. Unfortunately, the marriage failed, and Jane found herself a single mom. Opportunity knocked, and she landed a co-anchor job at KOCO-TV, where she quickly learned the ropes, propelling her into an anchor job in Dallas. But homesick, she returned to Oklahoma City television. She retired from television after 17 years and met her Prince Charming Gerald Gamble in 1990. They were married in '94 at Church of the Servant and have lived happily since then. She became Cabinet Secretary of Tourism under Frank Keating, authored 2 books, More Grace Than Glamour, and 40 Days of Devotion, with proceeds going to the OCU Scholarship Fund. What does she say about the future?
The future is very much a part of the present at this stage of life, and that is trying to find and appreciate each day. And I think having had cancer enters into that, of the gift of the present, spiritual development, growing as a Christian, but the appreciation of life, of loving others and being loved, of the joy of music and the beauty of nature, those things that we rush by early on in life, and taking time to really fully appreciate that.
Lives are shaped by random events. Who knew that winning a contest would propel Jane into this life? The jewels in her crown are still grace, beauty, and sparkling intelligence, firmly fastened with experience. This incredibly kind and genuine woman of faith deeply loves her family, friends, her college, and community, which is why Jane Jayroe is this year's recipient of the Oklahoma City University's Meinders School of Business Outstanding Achievement Award.